Have you ever truly considered the weight of a decision that could alter the course of human history forever? Imagine carrying the knowledge, the terrifying, brilliant knowledge, to unleash a power so immense it could bring about the end of worlds. It's a thought that's almost too big to grasp, isn't it? Well, today, we're going to journey into the heart, into the mind of the man who stood at its epicenter. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I am so thrilled you're here because today we are diving headfirst into Christopher Nolan's breathtaking epic, Oppenheimer. This isn't just a movie, it's an experience, a character study, and a profound moral interrogation, all wrapped into one. We'll carefully walk through the sprawling story it tells, from its hopeful beginnings to its earth-shattering climax and complicated aftermath. And then, we'll touch on some of the deeper meanings, and the sheer human drama that makes this film so unforgettable. If you're passionate about movies that don't just entertain, but also challenge you, make you feel deeply, and spark endless conversations, then you've come to the right place. And hey, if you haven't already, please do consider hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell. We explore incredible films like this all the time, and I'd love for you to be part of our growing community. The story ignites by introducing us to a young J. Robert Oppenheimer, a man whose intellect seems to burn as brightly and as dangerously as the stars he studies. We see him in his formative years in Europe, a whirlwind of academic brilliance, intense passion, and an almost unsettling internal restlessness. He's studying at places like Cambridge and Göttingen, rubbing shoulders with the giants of physics like Niels Bohr, but also wrestling with feelings of inadequacy and intense emotional episodes. One moment he's trying to poison his tutor, the next he's captivated by the revolutionary ideas of quantum mechanics. It's clear he's a complex, almost volatile genius. He returns to the United States with a mission to bring the new physics to America, and he does, establishing thriving centers of theoretical physics at Berkeley and Caltech. He's charismatic, inspiring, and draws the brightest young minds to him, effectively building the American School of Theoretical Physics from the ground up. It's a time of great intellectual ferment, but even as he's shaping the future of science, the world outside the university walls is darkening. The rise of Nazism in Germany, the persecution of Jewish scientists, many of whom are his colleagues and friends, and the looming threat of another world war cast a long shadow. And then comes the terrifying news. German scientists had achieved nuclear fission. The possibility that Hitler could get an atomic bomb first becomes a chilling, driving fear among the scientific community. You can feel the anxiety building, can't you? The sense that something has to be done. This fear galvanizes action. Prominent scientists, including Albert Einstein, urged President Roosevelt to start an American atomic program. And as the United States enters World War II, this effort gains massive momentum. This is where Army General Leslie Groves enters the picture. Groves is a hard-nosed, pragmatic military engineer, fresh off building the Pentagon, and he's tasked with finding someone to lead the scientific effort of the newly formed Manhattan Project. His choice? J. Robert Oppenheimer. It's a surprising choice in some ways. Oppenheimer has no Nobel Prize, limited administrative experience, and a personal life filled with left-leaning associations, including his wife Kitty and his former fiancée, Jean Tatlock, both of whom have Communist Party ties. These connections make many in Washington very nervous. But Groves sees beyond that. He recognizes Oppenheimer's fierce intellect, his ambition, and his ability to inspire other scientists. He sees a man who can get this monumental, perhaps impossible, job done. And so, Oppenheimer is appointed the director of a secret weapons laboratory. His first crucial decision is where to build it. He chooses a remote mesa in New Mexico, a place he loved from his youth, Los Alamos. Almost overnight, this isolated spot is transformed into a bustling, secret city, a high-security campus dedicated to a single terrifying purpose. Scientists, engineers, technicians, and their families are uprooted and moved to this strange artificial world, all sworn to secrecy. Imagine the atmosphere, the excitement of cutting-edge science mixed with the constant pressure of the war and the profound moral questions lurking beneath the surface. Oppenheimer assembles an incredible team, a collection of Nobel laureates and future laureates, young prodigies, European refugees, American academics. Hans Bethe, Enrico Fermi, Isidore Rabi, Edward Teller, Richard Feynman, a dazzling array of talent. Managing these brilliant, often eccentric and strong-willed individuals is a huge challenge. There are intense debates, scientific disagreements, and personality clashes, all while racing against a ticking clock and an unseen enemy. Oppenheimer thrives in this environment, orchestrating the complex effort, pushing his teams, and navigating the often fraught relationship with General Groves, who is focused on results and security above all else. The scientific and engineering challenges are immense. How do you enrich enough uranium? How do you produce plutonium? Which bomb design will work? The simpler gun-type device, or the much more complex but potentially more powerful implosion device? The film shows us glimpses of these struggles, the breakthroughs, and the dead ends. All the while, Oppenheimer is also dealing with his complicated personal life. His marriage to Kitty is passionate but also stormy. She's fiercely intelligent and perceptive, but also struggles with alcoholism and the confines of Los Alamos. His lingering connection to Jean Tatlock continues to haunt him and provides ammunition for his later enemies. These relationships show the human cost, the personal sacrifices intertwined. With the world-changing events, the pressure on Oppenheimer is immense, not just to deliver the weapon, but to do it before the Germans. And then, as the project progresses, the ethical weight of what they are creating begins to bear down more heavily, not just on Oppenheimer, but on many of the scientists. Some begin to question the potential use of such a weapon, especially as it becomes clear that Germany is close to defeat. But the momentum of the project is almost unstoppable. Then comes the Trinity Test, the culmination of years of effort. The buildup is masterfully shown, the anxieties, the last-minute glitches, the fear that it might not work, or even worse, that it might ignite. The atmosphere? A terrifying theoretical possibility they had to confront. When the bomb finally detonates in the pre-dawn desert, the scene is both breathtaking and horrifying. A silent, blinding flash, then the earth-shattering roar, and the terrifyingly beautiful, mushrooming cloud. Oppenheimer famously recalls the line from the Bhagavad Gita, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." In that moment, the abstract becomes devastatingly real. The power they have unleashed is almost beyond comprehension. What must that have felt like to witness such a thing, knowing you were its primary architect? With the successful test, the decision to use the bomb against Japan falls to President Truman. The film portrays Oppenheimer and other scientists being consulted, but ultimately the military and political imperatives drive the decision. Hiroshima and Nagasaki are bombed. The war ends. Oppenheimer is hailed as a national hero, the father of the atomic bomb. But for him, any sense of triumph is deeply complicated, tainted by the horrific human cost and the dawning realization of the nuclear age he has ushered in. He becomes increasingly concerned about the future, advocating for international control of atomic energy and warning against a nuclear arms race with the Soviet Union. He famously tells Truman, "Mr. President, I feel I have blood on my hands." This moral stance, combined with his past associations and the growing paranoia of the Cold War, sets him on a collision course with powerful figures in the government, most notably Lewis Strauss, an ambitious commissioner of the Atomic Energy Commission. Strauss, initially an admirer, develops a deep-seated animosity towards Oppenheimer, fueled by perceived slights and Oppenheimer's opposition to the hydrogen bomb program. This leads to the devastating war security clearance hearing. In a secret quasi-judicial proceeding, Oppenheimer's loyalty is questioned, his past dredged up, and his character assassinated. Friends and colleagues are forced to testify for or against him. Edward Teller, a proponent of the H-bomb, gives damaging testimony. His wife Kitty defends him fiercely, but the process is brutal and humiliating. Ultimately, his security clearance is revoked, effectively ending his role in government service and silencing a crucial voice of caution. The film also frames this through the lens of Strauss's Senate confirmation hearing for Secretary of Commerce, where his vendetta against Oppenheimer is exposed, ultimately contributing to his own political downfall. It's a tragic arc for Oppenheimer, from celebrated hero to ostracized figure. A victim of the very political climate his creation helped to shape. Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, released in 2023, was a cinematic event. It garnered massive critical acclaim and numerous awards, including 7 Oscars, with Nolan winning Best Director and Cillian Murphy taking Best Actor. For his stunning portrayal, shot with breathtaking IMAX cinematography, the film is more than history. It's a deep dive into genius, morality, and the terrifying consequences of power. Key themes are the immense weight of responsibility and the blurred lines between scientific discovery and its political, often weaponized, application. What does it mean to unlock such destructive force, even with the aim of a greater good? The imagery of fire, light, and chain reactions powerfully symbolizes not just the bomb, but the unstoppable cascade of events Oppenheimer initiated. Nolan brilliantly puts us inside Oppenheimer's mind, making us feel his intellectual excitement alongside his crushing ethical burden. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, about the paths we choose in the name of progress? A few scenes really stand out for their impact. The Trinity Test, as mentioned, is a masterclass in tension and awe-inspiring terror, marking the point of no return. Then there are the security clearance hearings. Nolan films these with a claustrophobic intensity, often in black and white, highlighting the almost kangaroo court nature of it. Watching Oppenheimer, a man who gave so much, being systematically torn down, is incredibly painful and speaks volumes about the paranoia of the era. Finally, Oppenheimer's internal visions, the flashes of light, the charred bodies, the sound of stomping feet during his victory speech at Los Alamos are haunting. They show a man already grappling with the horrific human cost even amidst celebration. These moments reveal the profound internal conflict that is the heart of his story. Oppenheimer truly is a film that stays with you, forcing a hard look at a pivotal moment in history and the brilliant, yet deeply flawed man at its center. It doesn't offer easy answers, but instead leaves us with profound questions about creation, destruction, and our collective responsibility for the knowledge we uncover. For me, its lasting message is a powerful call for ethical vigilance. In our pursuit of progress, I am so incredibly curious to hear your thoughts on Oppenheimer. What specific moments or themes resonated most deeply with you? Did you find yourself sympathizing with Oppenheimer, or were his actions and their consequences too monumental to reconcile? And what about the film's portrayal of the ethics of the Manhattan Project? Share your insights, your questions, and your feelings in the comments below. I genuinely look forward to reading them. Thanks so much for tuning in and taking this deep dive with me today. I can't wait to explore another fascinating film with you all very soon.